You felt it, right? I know I have. That little question that's always buzzing in the back of your mind. What is my purpose? It's this epic quest that shapes our careers, our choices, everything. But what if the way we're searching is the very thing keeping us stuck?
I mean, we've all heard this a million times. It's on motivational posters, it's in every graduation speech. It's this big story we've all been sold, this promise that if you can just find that one thing, your life will suddenly click into place and you'll be fulfilled forever.
So here's a really interesting, kind of counterintuitive idea from Rishi Khullar. What if that whole noble quest is actually a trap? What if the nonstop search for some grand singular purpose is the very reason so many of us feel restless even when we're hitting all our goals?
And this isn't just a vague feeling, it's a real phenomenon, especially for high achievers. You know the drill. You climb the mountain, you hit the sales target, you launch the company, and then, instead of pure joy, there's this weird emptiness. That right there is the purpose trap in action. It's a system that can leave even the most successful people feeling like they're still missing something big.
But here's the fascinating part. The root of this whole problem isn't some personal failure. It's not you, it's your biology. So let's get into the science of pursuit and what Khullar calls our brain's design flaw.
The main character in this story is dopamine. And here's the first huge insight. We all think of dopamine as the pleasure chemical, but that's not quite right. It's really the motivation chemical. You see, your brain's reward system isn't actually designed for you to be peaceful and content. It's designed for the pursuit.
That's exactly right. That thrill, that excitement, that drive to get something done, that massive neurochemical reward, it happens during the chase. It's the anticipation of the goal, the striving, the figuring things out that really lights up your brain.
And this is the absolute kicker. The moment you arrive, the second you achieve that thing you were chasing, that dopamine rush just evaporates. And it happens fast, which of course forces your brain to immediately start looking for the next thing to chase, and the next, and the one after that.
So if you've ever had that feeling, that post-accomplishment dip where you think, wait, is this all there is? Just listen to this. You're not broken. Not at all. You're just running on biology's treadmill. It's a feature, not a bug, of how we're wired.
Okay, so if chasing a big singular purpose is basically a biological trap, then what's the alternative? Well, this leads us to the central insight here. Meaning isn't some treasure you go out and find. It's something you build. You construct it moment by moment.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Our nervous system isn't actually desperate for a 5-year plan or a grand mission statement. What it's really deeply craving is presence. It's that feeling of being totally engaged with your life as it's happening right now, not in some imaginary future.
All right, so that sounds wonderful in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we get off this crazy treadmill? Well, let's dive into a really practical toolkit for making that shift from chasing meaning to creating it.
Rishi Khullar lays out 4 really clear, actionable steps. First, we're going to shorten the loop. Second, we'll anchor the mind and body. Third, we will shift to contribution. And finally, number 4, we'll just let purpose emerge. Let's break down what each of these really means.
First up, shorten the loop. So forget about that giant 5-year mission for a second. Instead of asking that huge, overwhelming question, ask a much smaller, more immediate one. A great example is a startup founder who's totally stressed about their grand vision, but then they spend one morning just talking to their users and they feel more alive and connected than they have in months. That's it. That's shortening the loop.
Step 2, anchor the mind and body. I love this phrase. Regulate before you ruminate. You just can't think your way out of anxiety. The trick is to sort out your physical state first before you even try to tackle the big existential questions. Think about a doctor who is completely burned out. Instead of stewing in her stress, she takes a simple 10-minute walk between seeing patients. Her stress levels plummet, her focus comes back. It can be that simple.
Now, step 3 is a really big one, a non-obvious shift. Move from chasing passion to offering contribution. We're always told to follow your passion, right? But that can just become another dopamine chase. A much more grounded, sustainable path to meaning is to ask, how can I be useful today? Think of a musician who's burned out from chasing fame. They stop trying to get on the charts and start mentoring a local teenager. There are no sold-out crowds, but there's a deep, real satisfaction there.
And finally, the last step.
Let purpose emerge naturally. Once you start doing these other things, you're more present, you're more grounded, your natural curiosity is going to start bubbling up again. And the key is to just follow it, lightly, without turning it into your next big, high-stakes obsession. Like the engineer who starts a little garden just to clear his head, and then years later he finds himself designing these amazing irrigation systems for community farms. Purpose found him the moment he stopped hunting for it.
This slide just sums up the whole mindset shift perfectly. If you look at the left column, that's the trap. It's all about finding something out there to complete you. Now look at the right. That's the new reality. It's all about cultivating an internal state of presence and just letting meaning and passion grow out of that. It's a total game changer in how you see your life.
So, what's the payoff for all this? What does life actually look and feel like when you get out of the purpose trap? Well, it's not about nonstop bliss or changing the entire world. It's something much, much better. It's about living a quietly meaningful life.
Just think about what this would feel like every day. You wake up calm, not in some frantic rush to prove yourself. You can get totally absorbed in the small things, a good conversation, a great cup of coffee, a walk outside. You can be useful to other people without it totally consuming your identity. And maybe the biggest one of all, you can actually rest and not feel guilty about it.
I absolutely love this metaphor. The frantic search for purpose, it's not bad. It's not wrong. It's just the training wheels. It gets you moving. But the real goal, the actual feeling of riding the bike, that's presence. That's being balanced and engaged and just enjoying the journey itself.
And we'll end on this final, really profound thought from Rishi Khullar. Maybe the biggest paradox of all is that the moment we stop trying so hard to force life to be meaningful is the very moment it becomes meaningful, all on its own, quietly, gently, and without any doubt. So what would happen if you just stopped chasing and started being present today?